We are back with more My Southern Home, and I'm here with Santosh Bhatt with Greater Louisville Homes and Jeff Ratanapool with Stockton Mortgage. And I'm so happy to have you guys here today because one of the things that's so important is for people to start investing in real estate and understanding the different ways that you can invest. And Santosh, you and your wife Karen were in this gorgeous Airbnb that you invested in and remodeled. And what was the reason as a real estate investor you chose to Airbnb?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I guess most of us look for residual income. You want to make sure that you make investment that is generating income for you. So what we have done is we decided to go the Airbnb route because it generates more income than the traditional rental. So what we have done is actually we've done some flips. So we create cash there and then convert that cash into cash flow. And it's worked really well for us.
Well, and it's interesting that you guys had a process to your investment property.
Yes, and we've learned. We just recently sold an Airbnb that wasn't generating quite as much income. And my background before getting into real estate, I'm an engineer. So I love spreadsheets and I follow everything that's going on with the market and all of that. And we decided we had a couple of properties that were not doing quite as well, so we were able to liquidate those just recently. And I think this process has worked well for us. I have always struggled in my mind whether I should go with traditional rental or I should go with Airbnb. Airbnb generates more income, but then also if the economy goes south, just like it did with COVID, then that really would hurt your business. But if you had traditional rentals, you probably will do better. But there is another downside to it. A lot of tenants were not paying rents because of COVID. So right now we're comfortable with our Airbnb avenue that we've taken. We'll have to just watch and see if we need to make any adjustments somewhere down the road. But so far we're pretty happy.
And Jeff, that's why it's so important to start with the investor, which is where you come in. You always start with the person that's going to provide the finance for this investment opportunity, and you can guide that person down the right road for them.
We sure can, but he said some wonderful things in there. You know, Santosh has done his homework. He looked in the market. He saw where, you know, the rent could be made, and he picked which side. For the mortgage company, we don't mind if it's Airbnb or if it's just a regular rental. They're not going to live in it. We know that it's going to be an income-producing property, and we take them through the same steps. So I applaud him. I've known him for a really long time. Very smart investor, smart guy, and it doesn't surprise me how nice the house he has today that we're in, and his success as an investor.
Well, one of the things that's interesting to me from an outsider looking in is the different types of teams that you need depending on the type of real estate that you're going to purchase. So obviously if you're purchasing a home that you're going to live in, you still need a team, but I feel like that the knowledge, using a knowledgeable realtor that has their own investment property is so important when you're getting ready to purchase it, because you can guide them and provide your experience and the things that you made mistakes on and the wins that you've had with it.
Well, it's kind of interesting, our market right now, and I was just in the MLS this morning. We have only 967 single-family homes available for sale right now. And we have 5,000 real estate agents in this market. So so I also tell my agents that if the inventory is low and we're really struggling where you're seeing multiple offers on each property, you have to figure out some way to generate another stream of income. And this is where investments come in. And of course, investment side also, the inventory is extremely low. You have to work very hard to find the right deal. And I've been looking for my agents and for myself and some investor clients. and it's really hard to find any right kind of properties at this time.
But I can say that the thing you mentioned, it's kind of hard for a person who's never been through the process to get advice from a person who's never been through the process. It's what's the old saying, the blind leading the blind. So if you have a great realtor who also invests, they're going to know some pitfalls for you to avoid and some steps to take that you might not have if you're dealing with an agent that isn't experienced in that type of transaction.
And also, the other thing is a lot of people want to make investments, but you also need to sit down and find out, do they have the right temperament for investments? Do they have the background, or do they have the financial support, even just for down payment? You have to really know all of that, because I've seen so many first-time investors and they don't do well at all. So yes, having the right real estate agent, having the right mortgage company, all of that, and the other partners. If you're going to have a investor buy a flip, you have to have a whole bunch of contractors that you need to coordinate and work with. And it's not an easy, simple process if you are a first-time investor. So having somebody to help you is definitely a plus.
Yes, do your homework.
Yep.
Yes, well, and you were talking about flips and this not being a great market for it. And a lot of people don't realize that you have to buy real estate, investment real estate specifically for the market that you're in.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about all of that is that if you are going to be an investor, you have to broaden as to the where you go for knowledge and information. The first place that I would recommend any investor to go to CREA, Kentucky Real Estate Investors Association. They are absolutely phenomenal when it comes to education and hand-holding. There are a lot of people that could become your mentor. So it's not a complicated process, but it still requires somebody to hold your hand and guide you through the process. Not only just the realtor, also a seasoned investor will actually help you too.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It was so neat to hear the different perspectives on your journey through investment.
Yep.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Absolutely. This was our pleasure.
We'll be back with more of My Southern Home in just a moment.